To all the OGs that have been watching past cycles, have you ever saw altcoins go 10x, 50x, or 100x and thought, why didn't I see that coming? Look, altcoin season isn't about luck. It's not random, it follows a pattern. And I've been using it to front run the market every single cycle. What's up, it's Ron, and today I'm breaking down my exact method for predicting when alt season is about to explode. Before the hype, before the influencers, and before retail even realizes what's happening. I'll show you how to read Bitcoin dominance, how to use Ethereum to front run the rotation, and the exact chart setup that I'm watching right now to know how close we really are to that moment when altcoins go vertical. This is the blueprint that I'm using right now to try to make life-changing gains, and I'm not holding anything back. Quick disclaimer, this isn't financial advice, so always do your own research. And hey, if you find value in content like this, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm notice this video and it helps your boy out. So thank you. All right, now lock in, because once you understand what I talk about next, you'll never look at crypto the same way again. Let's get into it. All right, first you need to know what phase that you're in and look at past cycles when things went parabolic. This image here shows the predictable path money takes through the market before we hit full-blown alt season. That explosive moment when altcoins start flying and everything feels like it's going vertical. Phase 1, Bitcoin leads the way. Alt season doesn't just happen out of nowhere, it starts with Bitcoin. This is the phase where money starts flooding into Bitcoin. It takes over the headlines, dominates social media, and it grabs the investors' attention. As a result, Bitcoin's price starts going up, and so does its dominance. That means it's outperforming the rest of the market, while most altcoins are either chopping sideways or bleeding out. Now remember the word dominance, because it's gonna matter here later. Phase 2, Ethereum gains momentum. All right, now we start to shift. Ethereum begins to outperform Bitcoin. It doesn't mean ETH overtakes Bitcoin by market cap, at least not yet, but it does signal a change in sentiment. People begin rotating profits from BTC into ETH. You'll often see Ethereum dominance start to rise and ETH BTC pairs breaking out. This is one of my favorite early signals that alt season is around the corner. This is the transition zone. A money overlap period. BTC is cooling off, ETH is heating up, and when ETH starts running, the rest of the market begins to wake up. Phase 3, large caps go parabolic. Now this is where the fireworks start. With Ethereum outperforming and sentiment shifting, capital begins flowing into large cap altcoins. Projects like the top 50 or top 100 by market cap, like Solana, Avalanche, Chainlink, and others. These coins now start going parabolic, and you notice big buy-ups, headlines, and influencers pumping them. During this phase, ETH is still outperforming BTC, but now altcoin narratives start dominating the conversation. Now, if you're positioned early, which is key in these top alts, this is where serious gains start happening. You need to be already positioned here. Now let's go to phase 4, alt season erupts. Now we're full-blown alt season. This is the phase that everyone waits 4 years for. It doesn't last long. The large caps have already mooned, but now mid caps, low caps, and even micro caps start exploding. It doesn't even matter if the fundamentals aren't solid. The hype alone can drive massive gains. Meme coins are everywhere, and I actually believe strongly that this cycle, memes will send even before this moment, because this might be the meme coin super cycle that you've been hearing a lot about, which I talked about in my last video. Everyone on Twitter, TikTok will start talking about the next 100x gem. You'll see projects go parabolic in hours. The market feels euphoric. Even random coins with no utility are doing 5, 10, 50x in days. This is the phase where retail is all in, and you start hearing things like, I should have gone harder. Everything is pumping. Is it too late to buy this meme? That's when you know that we're deep into alt season. Look, altcoin season isn't random. It's a clear progression of money flow through the market. Bitcoin into Ethereum, Ethereum into large caps into mid and low cap altcoins, and then into memes and micro caps. The key is to position early, not when everything's already pumping. If you're chasing green candles during phase 4, you're probably exit liquidity for someone else who got in during phase 2 or phase 3. So how do we identify where we are right now? Well, I'll show you, but just take a sec and do me a favor and subscribe and like the video. It helps keep me motivated and keep pushing out this type of content to you guys. Okay, so the first chart that we need to look at is Bitcoin dominance. Just like we talked about in phase 1, Bitcoin dominance has historically risen prior to alt season. Bitcoin dominance is one of the key metrics which I watch constantly. It shows how much of the total crypto market cap is made up of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin dominance is rising, that usually means investors are playing it safe, moving capital into Bitcoin instead of altcoins. That tells me that the market is more in the cautious or defensive phase 1, which I showed you earlier. But when dominance starts dropping, especially from the high range, which you can see happens historically prior to every altcoin season, and I'll show you here in just a moment, that's often a signal that money is rotating out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. It means the risk appetite is increasing. That's typically when we see altcoins start to pump. For me, tracking this gives me a powerful macro view. It's not just about guessing where I think the market's going. Bitcoin dominance helps me time rotations, make better entries and exit decisions, and even understand how aggressive I should be with my altcoin positioning and when to take some profit. I made an entire video on Bitcoin dominance and price prediction. I even talked about quantitative easing and how I think it's going to happen in Q3 or Q4 of this year. This means Fed cuts and increased liquidity pouring into crypto in general. If you want the full explanation, just make sure you watch that video after this. Let's look at BTC. Now, when I'm trying to figure out when Bitcoin might top out in this cycle, the first thing I do is I look back at history. So I've marked out the tops of the previous cycles, as you can see here in the vertical blue lines. And if you notice, these tops landed around November, December. Again, I'm not making predictions here. You can see that for yourself. I'm just showing you the facts, no opinions. This is the pattern that's been consistent in every Bitcoin cycle that we have seen so far. So the historical pattern goes like this. 2013, the top was December. 2017 top was November. 2021 top was November. So you can clearly see that the timing doesn't lie. So if you follow this trend, it's logical to expect that the next peak to land around is November or December of 2025. Unless this cycle is different, I think we will see a similar move play out. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin dominance. So if you have TradingView, you type in btc.d to get to this Bitcoin dominance screen. All right, now first let's drop the top and the bottom, which you can actually see I already did for you. I did the support and the resistance. This chart shows that Bitcoin dominance usually tops out around 73% before it drops. We know that we need Bitcoin dominance to fall so that liquidity enters into alts, as this is what has played out historically. Right now, we have not reached the resistance level yet, and we still have some ways to go. So this is something that I keep an eye on to see when this actually peaks out. I look at dominance to fall, and again, don't mistake dominance for Bitcoin price. So I think it's going to do something like this, and then we expect it to fall. Next, we want to look at total 3 minus USDT Bitcoin pair. This generally just compares alt's performance to Bitcoin. And so this is kind of the chart that you're looking at right now. We know that from looking at this, that every single time alts bottom out, it does this parabolic move and we get into an alt season. So we're kind of watching, or I'm watching that right now. So we see that it bottoms out and then we see this surge of altcoins. So this is kind of what I'm watching right now. I'm looking at this chart and right now it's just been dropping. So we haven't even seen anything yet. This is why I think this cycle is going to be amazing. As soon as I see it bottom out, I expect it to surge, similar to what it did here. Again, I don't want to trade what I want. I just want to trade what this market is telling me. And so based on this chart, we are still in need of some more of a drop before we actually explode, if it's going to mimic the past cycle. So watch these charts so you can get a better idea of where we currently are so that you can position yourself for alt season. Look, this alt season is going to mint millionaires, but not the ones chasing pumps on Twitter or aping into hype blindly. It'll be the ones that have a plan, understand the phases, and move before the crowd. Everything I shared today, from tracking Bitcoin dominance to watching Total 3, this is my real strategy, not theory. This is how I'm positioning for life-changing plays in 2025. But if you really want to level up, you need to understand why Bitcoin dominance is the #1 chart to watch to time your altcoin rotations. It's not just a chart, it's a cheat code code for this market. So if you're serious about getting ahead, click the video right here on the screen now. I'll break it all down into detail, how it works, what levels matter, and how you use it to front run alt season. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let me know in the comments what coins you're loading up on right now, or drop a fire emoji if you're ready to go big this cycle. Your next move starts right here. I'll see you in the next video.